wars, go to a controlled environment. Pay the fee and go into a controlled paintball gun park, as they call them, and do so in a safe manner. In fact, I will join you. Call me and I will meet you there and we'll have a little fun. But don't take this onto our streets in the city. It's a recipe for disaster. It will cause great injury and possibly death. So in conclusion, I want everyone to know that I don't see any different sides here. What I do know is that all of us can agree that life is precious and that we are all blessed to be God's children. Please heed the call of our law enforcement partners here. Take this activity in a controlled environment. So with that, I'd like to call, is Kenny here? Kenny McCullen, representing the mayor's office, gang reduction and youth development. We are doing amazing work with our gang interventionists today, another national model, community policing model to follow, a relationship that our gang interventionists have with our law enforcement partners here. He'll speak on behalf of the mayor. Thank you. Kenny?
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Kenneth McCullum with the GRID program through the mayor's office. I actually work with SAIA, which is Soledad and Rich Action. I'm a program coordinator for the Southeast 2 Division in Watts for intervention and diversion programs. So the intervention program are dealing with the youth who are, at risk and from ages 14 to 24. The diversion program works with kids who commit nonviolent crimes from 14 to 18. So just to piggyback off of what's been going on about the paintball fights, and it's kind of, a lot of young kids do not know how dangerous it is. A lot of them don't know that to use these weapons for the purpose of not being used. You're out there just running the streets, shooting at random people, shooting at each other. It's not, only dangerous, but it is. Reaching out to the community. Some of our CIWs have been going out to the community to talk to some of the youth to try to divert them from using these tactics. Trying to organize, activities such as getting them to Hollywood Park, which is a giant sports facility that caters to outdoor paintball shooting. On top of that, we've been explaining to the young kids how unsafe it is for them to possess these weapons in public. Me as a civilian, it will be very hard for me to make a split decision if someone's riding in a car or walking with one of these weapons to figure out if it's a gun or not. So just imagine what the officers have to go through on a daily basis, seeing these young kids, pointing these weapons at not only just them, at each other, and at residents. So we have to come with some kind of solution to get them out the streets, involved in more activities, which we do offer. Seeing how a lot of facilities are closed, but there are a lot of outdoor activities that they're involved in. So just getting them in these programs to where that they stay busy, they stay away from the violence, because seeing what's going on in our city, our state, our country, they need more positive, activities to do instead of just grabbing these guns, which is, the first thing that comes to mind, and having a fun time. Having fake guns is not a fun time. They might not understand it right now, but they need people like us to let them know not, playing with guns is not fun at all. But, in conclusion with that is, like I said, we are in the Southeast Watts Civic Center, so we do provide the services for these families and these young clients to come in to get them away from these situations. And the homicide rates are going up. We don't want them to continue to skyrise because of fake guns that look like real guns. So salute all the officers that's out there that's putting in the hard work to try to keep the peace, try to keep the violence down, and trying to keep our babies, either out the morgue or out of prison. So I definitely, thank you, and we'll continue to work together and find solutions for these issues. Thank you.
Okay, that's the end of our prepared statements. I'd like to call up the other commanding officers from around South Bureau to join me at the podium. We'll now open this up for questions. I want to point out a couple of things. We have Detective Preciado here who will provide a Spanish language interpretation of everything that was discussed today during this press conference. And we also have a couple of, unfortunately, victims that were victimized by these paintball shootings in our community who have been gracious enough to come here today and are willing to tell you their stories if you'd like to talk to them. So, ladies, if you want to come up here too, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, with that, we'll open it up to any questions you guys may have. I don't really know. I don't have a number of recreation areas that are available for that, but I know that there are plenty of them, and they're readily available for them to research online.
Has the department reached out to the local paintball shops just to offer advice, maybe help them get the word out?
Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult because, like I said, these are not illegal to possess. They're not illegal to own. And it's really difficult for the paintball shops to know what the intended motive of these people are. So, we don't want to impact their business either, but it is probably something that, we could reach out to them to at least get the information out. So thank you for that.
Have you tried to do something as simple as tell these owners, when you sell supplies, canisters, pellets, whatever you're selling on that, here's a brochure, here's a list of the locations. Do it there, do it safely. I mean, can the department ask or pressure people to do that? That isn't going to interfere too much with their business. If anything, that's going to encourage people to go and do it right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you know what? Just
Hit the mic.
sorry.
Hit the mic and identify yourself.
My name is Lieutenant Clint Dolman, and I'm the commanding officer of LAPD's patrol commanding officer of LAPD's Southeast Division. And we've been working with our grid partners, so we don't want this all to be on the police department. What we've been working with our grid partners to do is to reach out to the people who have them in their shops. And one of our biggest problems is people are taking them out now in ice cream vans because they've realized there's a market for it right now. And we've been asking for our community partners on our community conference calls and for our grid partners with the Watts Gang Task Force. We've been asking them to speak to the shop owners and to speak to the people who are carrying these out just in the ice cream vans and selling them, to put pressure on them to not sell them and or to sell them in a controlled way, and to give them a list of places where they should go. So yes, we have.
So Lieutenant, since you're here now, what is the message that you're trying to share with everybody?
The message is, if you want to use a paintball gun, use it in a controlled paintball environment. Do not fire them. The biggest problem we have are the victims that innocent people are being hit with these. You can see the photographs around us right now, and unsuspecting people are the prime victims of these. Those are the crime reports that we're taking. These are people who are doing nothing more than walking their dog, walking outside to their front porch, and they're getting hit with these paintball guns. And you can see the injuries are on skin here, but if that hits somebody in the eye, it's going to take out your eye. And we've had shots that have been close to eyes before. So our message is, stop shooting them in the community, and they are intentionally aiming a lot of times at innocent victims. Stop that.
What are the laws specifically regarding?
Can I turn it back over to Robin?
I mean, if you shoot somebody with one of these and hit them, is that a crime?
Yes, sir. I'm Lieutenant Robin Richards, the Detective Commanding Officer from Harbor Division. To answer your question specifically, sir, yes, if someone is hit with a paintball, we look at that as an assault. And if we get someone, that person will be arrested for felony. I'm sorry, sir? Yes, and it will be, it's considered a felony if you hit somebody with it.
Have you ever arrested anybody for that?
7 division, yes, you have arrested a few people.
Yeah, so just in the last, I'd say week, I think we've arrested 8 individuals for incidents involving paintball people. Those at the same time, but yes, we have made some arrests. And again, it is assault with the death. It is chargeable as a felony. Without much outlet for entertainment or to get energy out, and this is something that people have decided to do. It's not a very productive way to entertain yourself, and unfortunately it's caused some harm to people in our community. But I believe that that's really...
Have there been any close calls with officers and somebody's getting paintball guns recently?
Not that I'm aware of, but you know, it's always a possibility, and so you know, we talk to our officers all the time during roll calls to make them aware of what's going on. But you know, I have a responsibility to them as well to make sure that they go home to their families every night. And you know, when they're put in a situation where they've got to make that split-second decision based upon what you guys are seeing here, you know, I fear for what those consequences might be. So, but yeah, we are talking about
Do you
it.
share if a 911 comes out, 911 call comes out of a man with a gun, and it could be one of these, and officers respond to that?
Yeah, so I mean, look, just like the police, when they respond to these calls, if a member of the public sees somebody out there carrying one of these weapons, it's unlikely that they're going to realize that it's a paintball gun. And so when those radio calls are generated, most of the time they're generated as a person with a gun. And so officers responding to those are already with the mindset that they may encounter an armed individual. And so they're already on heightened alert. Obviously, we train very well with the LAPD. Our tactics are top notch. And so we count on that to avoid potentially deadly situations, but we can't always count on our tactics. Sometimes, you know, things happen and officers are forced to make those decisions.
What's the age range of the suspects that have been arrested so far?
Yeah, in the last week, they've ranged in age from about 16 to 22. Any more questions? Thank you guys all for coming. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here for us, because this is an important message that we need to get out to our community. So thank you so much. All right, thank you. Have a good day, everybody.